Hey there, everybody. This is Adam Zundel from the Mountain East Conference here today with West Liberty standout CJ Hester. CJ, how are you today?
I'm good, Adam. How are you?
Good. Thanks for being with us today. It's another season, and West Liberty is at the top of the polls once again. Just tell us about, you guys lost so much last year, but here you are kind of picking up where you left off.
It's a very exciting year. We were really anxious at the end of last year to get started for this year, but we have a good group of guys. We have a roster that's 15 deep, or 12 to 15 guys that we rotate in and out. So we were really excited. Even though we lost a few key players last year, we felt like we were ready to step in this year and just hit the season.
Is one of the big differences this year the depth, because West Liberty, so many times it's the same style and there's different players, but is one of the differences this year a little bit of depth?
Oh, definitely. This year, last year, coming into last year, we had a solid eight-man rotation. This year, we have a ton of key players that come in. Basically, have two teams that we can rotate in and out, and it really helps us in our style of play when we go up and down the court.
Now, I'm guessing that practices are always competitive, but with that kind of depth, we get to see you on a nightly basis in uniform and playing, but tell us about practices and having that kind of competition, in between games.
Practices are very competitive. Coach runs a practice style that is always competitive. So we always doing competitions and always playing against each other. And he always rotates different players, and so we never play against the same guys every day. We see a different player every day. We guard a different player every day, which really helps us develop as players in his system.
Tell us a little bit about the culture at West Liberty, and I know it all starts with Coach Crutchfield, but when you guys win like you do, there is a culture that doesn't necessarily always come from the head coach. It comes from your seniors that graduated last year, and now you are a senior. And so, what is that like? What are the expectations? How is it just kind of you walk on campus and you all are expected to play a certain way, win a lot of games, and do those kinds of things. So tell us a little bit about the culture.
Coach expects a lot from us, and we learned from our predecessors. So Alex Falk was one of mine. I came in here as a freshman, and he was a junior, so I got to spend 2 years underneath him and learn from him. And it's just a tradition, the way the program's built. You have to play at West Liberty, you have to play hard. And that's kind of an adjustment from high school a lot of the times. There's a lot of lulls in the game in high school games and even AAU games. But coming here at West Liberty, coach demands perfection. And you learn that as soon as you step on the floor. And so definitely having the leadership ahead of you allows the younger players to follow foot.
All right, so tell me a little bit about this year's guys. We've talked about the depth, but tell us a little bit about your starting rotation and some of the key players. Obviously Cedric is a lot of eyes are on him, but tell us a little bit about some of the guys and what they can do so well.
Well, playing here at West Liberty, coach allows us to play to our strengths. So everyone is not guaranteed a role. You have to kind of find your role and how you fit into the system. So this year's team is a lot different than last year's team, and so far as the previous year's team. So playing together, you have to find out what everyone's strengths are, and I think that's what makes us very successful here because we play so much together and we always switching teams, so we know what everyone is capable of. Everyone doesn't have just a set role as, Cedric, he's the point guard. Well, if you're allowed to take the ball out, if someone's open, we all have to find our role in our offense and defense.
All right, if you're playing a game of horse, would you take Seeger or Tim Hosfeld?
Oh, that's a tough one. Tim's getting a little old now, so I think I'm going to take Seeger. He's a little bit more fresh in the legs.
All right, well, you guys are halfway through the season, or nearly the halfway point, still unbeaten. Tell us a little bit about how you're trying to stay focused on a nightly basis. Obviously, there's high goals at West Liberty, but you have a lot to do before you can reach those goals. So tell us a little bit about the approach on a nightly basis.
Every day we practice end-of-game situations, so we're prepared for the tight games that we know we're going to have. Conference, every time the conference season comes around, we know you're going to have tight games no matter what team shows up to play. So that's a big thing. We practice the way for late game situations and such like that. But also, sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
So coach instills in us every day that, we have to come prepared every day. You can't take anyone lightly, and every game means something to us. And we play every game like it's a playoff game. So you can't drop a game overlooking a team, where you want to have goals set at the end of the year.
Well, then tell us a little bit about, it's a new league, and I know you haven't gone all the way through. Obviously, some familiar faces, but tell us a little bit about some of the new teams maybe that you've already played and that you're looking forward to playing, and maybe I know you probably haven't watched film or studied them, but what you're anticipating from some of those newer teams.
So Urbana, Virginia Wise, and Notre Dame were three of the teams that we've played so far. I think they're the only three newer teams that came into the league, and we had a chance to play all of them. And they're very competitive. Coach came in telling us what to expect, and that's exactly what we got. We had hard-fought games. They all compete very well. It's a great conference from top to bottom. I mean, every night you have to come out and compete if you want to win.
All right, CJ, and lastly, tell us a little bit about, your all's goals, and how you rate a successful season, with such high expectations at West Liberty.
I think we all have big desires. Everyone coming into college, their dream is to win a national championship, everything. But coach doesn't think of it that way. We have to take care of our business today. We're preparing for Fairmont tomorrow, so we have to worry about today and then take Fairmont on tomorrow and hopefully compete the best that we can tomorrow. And then never looking over a team, just get ready for the next game, I think, which would be Jesuit the following week. So we just take it one game at a time, one practice at a time, and just make sure we're ready to compete every night we step out on the floor.
All right, CJ. Well, thanks so much for taking time with us. It's a pleasure watching you all play and representing the league. And congratulations on being ranked #1. Although I know it's early and everything, you got a long way to go and bigger goals. But thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.